Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela, I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady, and welcome back to today's Whips, Bits and Chat. Come on, let's see what I got for you today. Right, so as normal, first up this week is the videos I've managed to upload to you. It wasn't too bad now, was it? She says, forever hopeful. So the first one I got up for you this week was a book review, and it was the Boho Crochet by, I cannot read her name, but the link of course will be up here. A few of you did actually like that book. No one has said that they've bought it yet, mind, but a couple of you have said you liked it. The next one up is a new series. It's called Tried and Tested Other Creators' Patterns. Now this is where I'm taking some items that I've made that are in the boxes around and about and under the table and here, there and everywhere, and I've separated them in two sections. So this first video was pretty much all baby stuff. Why did I make baby stuff? I've got no babies in the family. I don't know, but basically it was items that I made right at the beginning of my journey into crochet, and I was showing you how I made different items, and I'd taken different videos from here, there and everywhere all over YouTube to make different sets for babies, and of course how I'd taken blankets and motifs and joined them together. Now within that video there are links to all of the videos that I spoke about, but there is also a new playlist that has all of those videos included in it. And I've done that purposely. It's so that if you guys ever ask me, I can just say, go and have a look at that playlist. It's going to make it a lot easier than me trying to remember what and where I got patterns from. But I'm hoping that you like this series. It won't be an every week thing, because yes, I have made a lot, but if I put that many items into one video each a week, I will run out by the end of the year. I hope. Well, I don't hope. So I'm going to be showing you the stuff under the table, and then when I make something new, I will then make a video speaking just solely about that item, and if I've changed it, what I've done to create the pattern that I'm showing you over the pattern that was written, or of course in a video. So I hope you like that. Now the last video up was basically for my UK crazies. Now we don't get decent sales here in the UK, nothing like the Joann's, Michael's in America, or of course the Spotlight in Australia. I'm sorry, they're the only ones I have either know loads about or have actually managed to visit. Spotlight, I went to Spotlight, yay! But that video came out, and it was for the secret yarn stash. Now the video is up here. Now it only went out yesterday, and at time of recording, or I should say prior to uploading, the prices that were stated on screen were, and the items that were left within the sale are actually in a video montage at the end. So if you wanted to jump through and watch that, of course the link will be up here. If you're in the UK and you're like, secret yarn stash, got a sale? Hit the affiliated link down below, okay? That will take you directly over, and of course your prices will be the same as everybody else. So it's just a cheekier way and a quicker way for you to get to the site, save you having to type it into your search engine. It also means, of course, that because you've clicked the affiliated link, If you do choose to make a purchase on the site, I will get a little bit of a kickback. Okay, it's about 5%, and all of the money that I raise through that affiliated link goes on the poppies. Now, if you've watched that video, you will know that I think I've bought out all of her red and all of her green now, and what I hadn't bought she gave me anyway. But don't panic, any points are used will either be used for that, or of course I will purchase some other yarn, and it'll either be used for a tutorial on the channel, or of course it may even go into a giveaway, so you never know. But of course, have a look at the video and click that link if you're in the UK and you're up for some yarn. And remember, this will be the last yarn sale she's got going on. Okay, check the video out, you'll understand a little bit more there. Okay, so what have I been up to this week? Okay, channel wise, there's been a lot of recording, and there's a load more book reviews ready and loaded up for you all. There is also, of course, a couple more of the tried and tested. This room is an absolute mess of piles of bits and pieces for later videos for that series. So yeah, the main thing that I've been doing is behind the scenes work to ensure that you've got at least one video a week. That's the book review, and of course every other week or so there will be a tried and tested. So that will keep me going this month. And there is also, of course, some tutorials are coming up next week. That's right, I've got another tutorial out for you. Just give me a second and I will grab the offending article. Okay, so the offending article is the Rosy Posy cup coaster. That's right, something small, something quick. Hopefully you'll be able to make one of these within the hour, if not less time than that, depending on your speed. So here it is. Here is the Rosy Posy cup coaster. Something nice and simple, and it fits me cup in there lovely. See, fits nice. Okay, now that is what it looks like once opened, but you don't have to use it as a cup cozy. You could turn it into a little pop puree holder, or pop a little ball of cotton wool, or of course stuffing in there, and you could add some fragrance and hang it up in your wardrobe, because if you fold it how I show in the video, it will look like a little bowl of flowers. How cute. Alright, so that is what it could look like hanging up maybe in your wardrobe, or in your car even, or somewhere else, or this is how you could gift it. And then that is what it looks like once it's opened. So I hope you like that one. I'm looking forward to seeing any photographs of your makes. And remember, Crafty Moo's Sarah's crochet along for this year, which is the Flower Power Cowl. You could send these photographs in. Once you've made the items, you can do a 2-for-1. You can hit her channel up with a photo and my channel up as well. But if you're not keen on roses, then don't panic. In a couple of weeks time there will be another coaster tutorial come out for you with something a little different, but I'm not showing you that one now. I'm not spoiling the surprise. As I said, it's in a couple of weeks, so I'll show it to you on a Sunday just before it's loaded up. Okay, so what else have I been up to? Gardening. But we had to stop. Right, we've sorted out the back garden. Pretty much the only place left to do is around by the barbecue. We've got some more stuff that needs to be pulled off the wall and things like that, and a bit more clearing up to do there. But we moved on to the front, and of course we've taken the grass down a bit more on that panel by the side of the house, and we're tackling the wildlife garden that's round the side of the house. And this one has got all the bushes that are up to this first floor, and a heck of a lot of brambles. The brambles were coming all the way down the side and all the way round, and they were starting to go into the grass and things like that. So over the years we have tried tackling these brambles so many times and the things just come back. They are the biggest weed ever. Okay, they really are horrible. So normally we don't like to use any pesticides or anything like that, but this time round we're like, do you know what, we need these cleared, we need these gone. It's affecting the grass. You can't walk near on the grass without getting thorns and things like that. So my husband brought some really super cool stuff that just seems to tackle that. It hasn't killed off the grass, it hasn't killed off any of the other flowers or anything like that. So he's been going around every couple of days spraying the brambles, and it's killing them off, thankfully. Well, earlier on in the week, as I said, we were outside because the weather here is lovely in the UK at the moment. It was the May, what I like to call the May madness weather. There's always seems to be 2 weeks in May, normally around my children's birthdays, where the temperature skyrockets and everyone goes, oh, it's really hot, what's going on? But it always seems to be around my children's birthdays, so it's lovely. So anyway, we're out the side and we are using a petrol chainsaw to knock some of these bushes and trees down. We got halfway and my husband broke the chainsaw. Well, my husband didn't. The bush that he was cutting down did, so now he's got to get a new chain for his chainsaw, which I think we've got a spare in the garage, but if not, it's another thing that he needs to sort of order so that we can carry on going. So we're about 2/3 of the way down there. That's all been munched up with the super duper muncher, and of course another 6 bags have gone to the recycling unit. So anything like the garden waste and things goes into a garden waste bin, and then it gets mulched down even more and used probably as compost or something, but it basically goes to the recycle plant. So that's as far as we've got on that. So then of course hubby's moved on to a Lemon, who was, of course, as I said last week, she was up on ramps and she'd been stripped down quite a bit. Have to be careful because some of the terminology I could use with the car could sound even ruder than the title of this video. So she ended up having to have some new shocks put on and some other bits and pieces done because of course I'd hit that pothole, and all of the work's done. It's all feeling it's feeling beautiful to drive her again. There was no clonks, crashes, chirps, tweeps. They're all the different terms I like to use that he has no idea what I mean until I go, that's the chirp or that's the tweet. So we took the car out yesterday because the work had all been completed, and I just drove into Cheltenham because we decided we needed to do a food shop and fill up the freezer. So off we've gone into Cheltenham. It's like 8 miles. So going out, it was absolutely beautiful. It was like driving a different car. There was no noises, no nothing. And so my husband drove on the way back because I was having issues walking. My left leg was playing me up, so there was absolutely no way I could change gear because it's not an auto, it's a manual. Or as the Americans call a was it a shift stick or something, right? But anyway, he's jumped in the car and driven back, and we're about a mile away, and the birds came and sat back in the car, and it was chirping all the way back. Basically, it means that there was an issue with the brake pads. When we'd stripped the car down, we'd seen that a stone had got in and grained, put a line through it, but everything else was perfectly fine with the car, and it was still safe to use, and they still work beautifully. But this annoying noise came back in, so for like the last half mile the car sounded really ropey. Perfectly safe to drive and everything though, it just sounded bad. You could hear us coming. So car's back up now, and back up on her little ramps. I'm waiting for another piece to come in because we're going to be replacing the brake pads and the brake shoes or whatever they're called. but my husband was only going to replace that one part until he found out that actually it's only going to cost us about 40 quid to replace 2 brake pads and 2 brake whatever they're called, right, which on his car is like 180 per side, whereas for me it's like 40 quid for both. So yes, for having a cheap runabout. So hopefully I'll be able to start doing stuff again next week, once of course those bits come in and they are fixed. Okay, so crochet wise, what have I been up to this week apart from of course these 2 tutorials? I stepped back into amigurumi and I've picked up an old pattern that I absolutely loved making the first year I did it, and the second year, which is some little snowmen. That's in the playlist. Okay, it isn't in English, but there are subtitles on screen so you can pause it for each row, and it's written really beautifully on screen as well. So I started, the first year I made these snowmen, they looked demonic. The faces were so bad, I couldn't hand them over to family or anything, so I had a set of demonic snowmen. The second year I'd sussed out how to do faces on them and I really liked the way that they looked. Well, and this year I want a doorstop. I want something that's a decent size, because I've got some stones that I've had for ages that I was going to put into this, into the snowman to turn it into a doorstop, to weight it down basically. So I grabbed my yarn, which is these ginormous balls of Aldi Aran yarn in cream. Now I've had these forever, okay, and they're taking up so much room, they need to be used. Now these are 75% acrylic and 25% wool. Yeah, you heard correct, wool. And I must say I've got an issue with it and an intolerance. And this just feels really rough on my skin. It doesn't cause any other issues than it's rough. Okay, so I'm okay using this one, whereas some of the other posher ones, not so much. Right, but there is 400 grams in each of these balls, and they're 80 meters approximately. So I've got a couple of these off the shelf. Yeah, you heard right, a couple. And then I contacted our gorgeous amigurumi ninja and went, "Right, ninja," and she's like, "What, girl?" And I said, "I want to upsize like you do, because her amigurumi are always big." I said, "So I've got the Aldi yarn, because I know she's got some as well, and she used to use it quite a bit." I said, "I've got this yarn, but the pattern itself only makes the item up to probably, if I'm using a DK, I think I got it to about 8 inches. I said, "So, but I want to upsize it." So what I'm thinking is not only upsizing the yarn itself. And she's like, "Yeah." I said, "I'm going to run 2 strands." She went, "You're daring." I said, "No." I said, "But what hook size do I need?" I had to ask my ninja for some help. So she said to me what hook size to go for, and then, well, 2 basically. See which one looks best and which one's less gappy. I was like, "Thank you ever so much, darling." So I set to work making this snowman. And I've ended up using a 5.5mm hook. His body's done, his legs are done, his arms are done. He's got 1 arm sewn on and 1 leg so far, so I'm not going to worry about running in the other room, grabbing it and showing you yet, because I'll hopefully have him finished by next week so I can show you him fully with his little hat and his scarf on as well, because I really love that pattern. So that's what I've been crocheting up this week. Oh, and something else that's a secret, so I can't tell you, but it's not for the channel, it's for a gift. And I'm not breaking my silence until it's finished. Now it's time for the bestest bit of the video, is your photographs. And I received quite a few photos actually, but the main photo that I'm going to show you today is from Dinky Crafts Jennifer. We've been bantering backwards and forwards in a messenger this week, because it started off with her showing me a stash of black that she had and saying she's working on poppies. So I tried to guesstimate how many poppy middles she would get out of the black. Then she showed me the red, and I tried to guesstimate how many poppies she would get out of that. And then some green, and I tried again to guesstimate how many leaves she would make. But she's been working a little behind off, and she has managed to make this a week another 8 poppies to add to her growing total of 22. Plus, of course, she found some more in her stash, so in total there's 24, but we're only saying 22 because the other 2 were made 2 years ago or even last year, I'm not too sure. But here is the photograph that she sent. Thank you ever so much, Dinky, for carrying on doing these poppies. Every single one that you make will be greatly appreciated. I think that's pretty much it for this week. I've talked your ears off a little bit, not as long as normal because I haven't got as much crochet related stuff to chat about. So I'm going to head off now. I will see you all really soon. So please remember, stay chilled, stay happy and keep crafting. Goodbye everybody.